The search for happiness is like a journey we've all embarked on. We pack our bags, plot our routes, and set off, sometimes with a destination in mind, and sometimes just wandering until we stumble upon it. But here's the catch. Most of us have walked right past happiness countless times without even noticing it. The real shocker? You don't have to find it. You can create it right now, wherever you are. Let's take a step back and think about our brains for a moment. Roughly 2 million years ago, the human brain was just a fraction of its current size. Over time, it grew, evolving a new structure called the prefrontal cortex. This part of the brain is responsible for problem-solving, creativity, impulse control, and more importantly, it acts as our personal experience simulator. It lets us mentally live out scenarios before we actually experience them. Imagine being able to decide whether or not to drink a chicken liver-flavored milkshake without having to taste it first. That's your prefrontal cortex at work. But this incredible skill has a downside. It's terrible at predicting what will actually make us happy. In fact, research from Harvard psychologist Dan Gilbert shows that our beliefs about what will bring us happiness or misery are often way off. The ups and downs of life, getting married, breaking up, landing a promotion, or losing a job, never hit us as intensely as we think they will. Our brains overestimate the impact of these events, good or bad. And that's where the power of the mind comes in. If your brain can misjudge the future, it can also create feelings of happiness out of thin air. It has the remarkable ability to manufacture happiness, a process that scientists call synthetic happiness. So, what's the difference between natural happiness and synthetic happiness? Natural happiness happens when you get what you want, when your life aligns with your dreams. Synthetic happiness, on the other hand, is what your brain creates when you don't get what you want. And here's the mind-bending truth. Both types of happiness are equally real and valid. Yet, we've been conditioned to believe that synthetic happiness is inferior. Why? Because it's seen as a consolation prize, a way of making do with less. But when you think about it, synthetic happiness is an incredible gift. Imagine if your happiness were entirely dependent on getting everything you wanted all the time. It would make you a slave to your desires, constantly chasing, rarely satisfied. Synthetic happiness, by contrast, allows us to be content no matter the outcome. It's a superpower, one that liberates us from the grip of external circumstances. So, what's the catch? The world doesn't want us to believe in synthetic happiness. Why? Because if we could be happy with whatever we have, it would upend entire industries built on selling us the promise of joy. The idea that we must get what we want to be happy keeps us hooked, constantly buying, searching, striving. But real happiness doesn't work that way. Real happiness is an inside job, something we can choose to create right now, regardless of what's happening around us. Think about it. If your happiness depends solely on getting what you desire, you're at the mercy of every twist and turn in life. You're vulnerable. But when you learn to generate happiness internally, you become invincible. The power shifts back to you. You can choose to feel good even in less than ideal situations, making you resilient and adaptable. Shakespeare once wrote, "There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." It's not the events themselves that dictate our happiness. It's our interpretation of them. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Our psychological immune system, the part of our mind that helps us recover from setbacks, functions best when we feel trapped. Yes, you read that right. When we have no way out, our brain is incredibly good at finding ways to make us content with our circumstances. But when we're bombarded with too many choices, we become overwhelmed. Too much freedom can sometimes be the enemy of happiness. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. So how do we put this knowledge to use? It's simple. Start choosing happiness now, regardless of your situation. Stop waiting for the perfect set of conditions. Your brain can create happiness whether you're exactly where you want to be or a million miles away from your goals. The freedom to be happy lies within you, not outside of you. Think of your brain as a magician, capable of transforming any scenario into a positive experience. No, it's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing your ability to make peace with what is, to find joy even when life doesn't go according to plan. Today, Let go of the idea that you have to achieve something, acquire something, or be somewhere else to feel happy. Happiness isn't a destination you reach after a long journey. It's a state you can tap into right now. Just stop, take a deep breath, and say hello to the happiness that's already within you. Keep walking your path, but remember, happiness isn't something to find, it's something to be. And the best part? You can manufacture as much of it as you want, anytime, anywhere. Because your mind is the ultimate factory of joy. Until next time, keep rising,